Welcome back. It's the biggest game of the week in North Dakota and the biggest game of the regular season in Class 2A. Tomorrow night, Shanley will make the trip west to take on St. Mary's at the Community Bowl in Bismarck. It's a battle of the unbeatens and the top-ranked teams in the state. For a preview, here's Jody Norstedt.
8 consecutive St. Mary's victories. That's what Shanley keeps hearing over and over again about its string of failures against the top team in Class 2A.
It's been too long, and we're sick of it. We're sick and tired of losing to them.
But the string of Saints' dominance doesn't quite illustrate how competitive this series has been. Every regular season meeting dating back to the turn of the millennium has been decided by 11 points or less.
I remember watching them when I was 6th, 7th, and 8th grader, so it's really fun for it to be me now.
I mean, it seems like every time we play them, it's always a good game. I mean, last year I think they beat us they got a touchdown late, but it was we were up I think in the third quarter. But it's just we need to match their physicality. That's one thing. They get towards the fourth quarter, they seem to out-physical us a little bit.
The Saints understand the formula to winning the big ones. They've been there, done that.
I think the team that stays in control and has the best discipline when you have evenly matched teams is usually the one that comes out winning.
Trust what you've done all season. Don't try to go away from things you've done and what you've been successful on. Just play our brand of football.
For the better part of the last 4 years, Cole Gendrew has helped define that brand as the team's starter under center. This season, the All-State quarterback has already passed for over 600 yards and 10 touchdowns, to go with 6 rushing scores.
It's the quarterback that makes plays, I think, as you get close and helps you get the ball in the end zone, and we've been able to do that with him.
He's a kid that we just can't allow to make big plays, because if he does, it could be a long night for us.
Just contain him, make sure to keep him in the pocket and make him throw it. We trust our D-backs and just get pressure on them.
Meanwhile, Shanley feels it has the offense to keep up with anyone, thanks to the new schemes brought in by head coach Troy Mattern.
And we have a whole new offense, so just getting on the same page, and now we're finally starting to get some of our athletes in space, and when we go spread, it's sometimes scary with our receivers we have.
One thing is evident after talking with both sides: they have one another's respect.
2 really good teams, that makes it better that we're both undefeated, and it just makes it so much more intense, so much more enjoyable to play.
That game is a 7 o'clock kickoff. We'll have highlights and reaction for you on Varsity Sports Live tomorrow night at 10:30. The man that will be delivering those highlights is joining me right here, Jody Norstedt. And Jody, let's make some high school pick'ems, all right?
All right.
So, last weekend, Jody came out on top with a 2-1 victory by picking Ellendale, Edgeley, Cullum, and Minot. We'll see if I can get redemption this week. But the first game for you, Jody, the one that you just broke down, who wins between Shanley and St. Mary's?
I will admit, Kelly, if you would have asked me this on Monday, I would have picked the Saints. In fact, if you ask me again tomorrow, I might give you a different answer. But my gut is saying something crazy is going to happen on Friday, and Shanley is going to stop the streak. St. Mary's has a great quarterback in Cole Gendrew. Of course, we just talked about him, 4-year starter, has some terrific weapons in Luke Cambites and Hudson Bradley, to name a few. However, I like how the Deacons' defense matches up. I think they have some good linemen. Jake Cav is a beast at linebacker, and they're good at the corner spots too. The X factor for me is the fact that St. Mary's hasn't had to defend a passing attack this season like Shanley's. And keep in mind, the offense has changed under Troy Mattern, and the Deacons will surprise the Saints and come back with the win.
Well, I think that's crazy. I see no reason to pick against the Saints. They're rock solid. I think they're winning again. So, on to game number 2. Our second game is actually going to be played on the same field as that first one. Minot takes on Bismarck Century on Saturday at the Community Bowl. Jody, it's top 5 battle. Who do you got?
I feel like I should go with Minot since they helped me get the victory in last week's pick'em. Their defense has been playing outstanding, but I'm on Century this week. I think the Patriots' offense has really found a great balance. They've been able to rotate a trio of solid running backs into these conference games, and it has led to big rushing days. But remember, they also have All-State quarterback Jacob Olson. Minot won that game in the first quarter last week with 3 early interceptions against Legacy. I don't think Century makes a similar mistake. I see the Patriots riding a balanced attack to a close victory.
Okay, I'm going to have to agree with you. I picked Century too. They'll continue to show improvement throughout the season, and it doesn't hurt that they're going to be at home. I mean, that always helps. So On to our final pick'em, a battle of the unbeatens in Class A. 5th-ranked Carrington travels to 4th-ranked Langdon area Munich in a battle of Cardinals.
First off, I'm excited that we're going to have this on Varsity Sports Live. So we're going to go up to Langdon and get this one for you. You really can't go wrong with picking the Cardinals here. So that's the easy answer. This game pretty much decides the champ of Region 2. And if you remember last year, these two met in the first round of the playoffs. In Langdon Munich, quarterback Jacob Delville put up video game numbers, passing for nearly 500 yards and 6 touchdowns. He's back, and so is his standout receiver, Anthony Economy. This Langdon Munich offense is no joke. Carrington has some good players, but I think Langdon Munich gets the win.
Video game numbers. I'm going to have to go with that too. Trust your wisdom on this one, so I pick Langdon Munich as well. All right. Thank you so much, Jody.
You bet.
Coming up next, more pick'ems, this time in South Dakota. Jason Andera joins me to hash out who's going to win over the weekend, and later we check in with UND Volleyball's Mark Pryor. Stay right here.